collectively, the members of the PLSA, invest over £1 trillion worth of cash, members' cash, into businesses and assets in the UK economy and economies overseas. And that's a huge sum of money. That's equivalent to 50% of GDP. So we are people of influence.
PLSA Chair Richard Butcher highlighting the role that the pensions industry plays in the UK economy and why this year's investment conference theme is driving the economic machine.
It's about helping pension funds to maximise the returns that they can get, so that they're helping DB sponsors do the heavy lifting on the funding obligations that they have, so they can help DC members do the heavy lifting on getting good retirement outcomes. So driving the economic machine, it's all about improving the quality of returns, improving the long-term returns, getting better quality pensions.
Having become Deputy Prime Minister whilst the UK was still in the throes of the 2008 global financial crisis, Nick Clegg hopes lessons will be learnt from history.
Memories are short. People are already starting to forget the imbalances, the exposures, the liabilities that can brew in a system if unchecked. There is an odd habit we have as human beings to forget the lessons of the last crisis, assume it can never happen again, even as we preside in ignorance over the roots of the next crisis. And that is why it is incredibly important to rehearse the enormity of what happened in 2008 and to appreciate the ongoing work we need to do to deal with the ongoing legacy of it.
And whilst attendees took the chance to ask for his perspectives on how to go about doing that, Nick Clegg remained positive about how the pensions industry could be a force for good.
If you are managing other people's money, you have to make a return. So, I don't think anyone should apologise for that. But if they're able to make a return, whilst also investing money in things that desperately need to be invested in, affordable housing, better ways of delivering social care, the provision of better vocational education, the kind of things that we know are the big, profound problems in society, much of which, by the way, should be solved by government. But of course, these huge funds can also play a role in trying to heal some of those issues as well, if they can make a return. They're not charities, and they shouldn't pretend they are. But if there can be a way of having a sort of virtuous circle between both profit, good returns, and good long-term returns for society, that would of course be the ideal scenario.
To be part of such a so-called virtuous circle, the industry must also gain public trust, something underlined by one of the key themes at this year's conference, cost transparency.
We call ourselves a profession, and if we are going to call ourselves a profession, I think we have an obligation to do the best we can for our clients. If we were a doctor or a surgeon and we weren't looking after our patients, we would get struck off. And yet that doesn't or hasn't typically been what's happened in the financial industry.
You think there needs to be more accountability?
I think there needs to be more accountability and more transparency.
It's like any competitive environment. If someone starts cheating, you want to get rid of them. And I think there is this feeling in the industry that now we have an opportunity to be able to get rid of those who aren't playing fair. And I think that's an extremely positive thing for them.
And this could be particularly important in terms of public perception too.
Absolutely, and there are a couple of elements to this. One is we want in the UK to maintain our preeminence in asset management. It is one of the most systemically important sectors in the UK. There is no doubt about that. There's no point in destroying it. We need to make it better, and we need to get people in the UK to invest more. But more to the point, if we created an environment where we can hold our hands up and say the UK is the best place and safest place and most honest place to invest your money, we will attract offshore assets into the UK. And again, that's good for everybody.
So an opportunity to adapt and lead, something the PLSA itself aims to do too.
We enjoy the challenging of having to involve. It's what makes it a really exciting place to be in, a really exciting organisation to work for, and what our members expect us to do. We work very hard to bring our members together, to get them sharing best practice, to get them talking to each other, to put experts in front of them so they can listen and learn. So these conferences are an excellent arena for that exchange, that networking, that idea sharing to take place.
A thought-provoking day one. And with scores more expert perspectives on the agenda for the rest of the week, this event promises to address the biggest challenges being faced by an industry looking to shape a prosperous, fair and sustainable model for the future.